Welcome to Season 3 of Trap Talk.
Brought to you by Craigoff, the choice of champions.
Welcome back to another episode of Trap Talk. I'm your host, Zach Nannini. I'm here with the one and only co-host, Richard Marshall Jr. He's looking very good in his digital print hat today, folks. I mean, he's ready to go. But, Pat, welcome back to the show. I think this is number 3 or number 4 for you on the show.
This is like 3.5. We had the Tucson one.
Okay,
Yeah.
3.5. 3.5, that works. So, you know, we're doing the ring series, interviewing all the ring winners, and, you know, Rich, you know Pat really well. Introduction from the last time, anything we've missed, anything that people don't know that we should be letting them know about?
Now he has 12 rings, correct?
Yeah.
So he's got all the birthstones. And other than that, I mean, he just keeps winning.
Yeah, he does keep winning. I mean, you can't stop him. He's the Canadian Hammer, and I mean, he ain't Paul Shaw.
No.
But welcome back to the show, Pat.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
So to get started, you know, it's been a year since we spoke. I know last year we talked about, you know, you obviously won a ring and went into the Hall of Fame, but going into this shooting season, what was it like post Hall of Fame? You already kind of accomplished some really big goals. How did you refocus yourself and get back in the mindset of, okay, I'm going after more rings? Because in my mind, I would think at some point you got to be like, okay, how much more? What am I trying to do here? I'm already in the Hall of Fame, already got a bunch of rings. Like, how do you laser focus and get back into the shooting season every year?
You know, things really didn't change after the Hall of Fame for me. Like, I still go out there and try to, you know, compete in every event, try to win every event. Yeah, the Hall of Fame is a goal, but it's not like the end goal. It's not like that's the last thing they want to do. This year, though, I don't know. I struggled a lot through the year. Like, it was a tough year, and it had nothing to do with any of the stuff that happened last year. It just, I don't know, kind of came together at the right time, I guess. But yeah, I had some struggles this year.
Well, you shot quite a few state shoots and stuff this year, didn't you?
Yeah, yes. I went to Minnesota, but we missed the Canadian because Minnesota moved a week up. So Minnesota was the first big shoot, I guess, we went to. And then South Dakota, North Dakota, Zone, and Grand. It went by quick. And Tucson, of course.
And Tucson. Now, like North Dakota, they gave away a side-by-side up there this year.
Yeah, they
For
did.
anybody that shot the 3 handicaps I saw. That was a pretty cool deal.
There was only about 200 shooters at it, so it was, I mean, it's great odds, really, for a $20,000, $30,000 machine. I don't even know what it was, but you had to shoot 100 handicap on the Sunday, and if you didn't, if no one shot 100, they were going to give it away anyways. So it got given away.
Well, that's pretty impressive. So it wasn't like one of those I've seen those, you know, oh, we're going to give away a Ford truck, but you got to break a 400 out of 400, and then nobody breaks it, right? Which I think that's kind of cool to do something like that. But if they're going to give the trophy away no matter what, kind of like they're doing it in Nevada this year, they're giving away the 400 ounces of silver. And it doesn't matter if you break a 90 or 100, whatever. It's just you got to win the event on Sunday.
Top score, in-state or out-of-state.
Wow.
In-state, out-of-state top score. And I just think that more of these shoots that are just able to raise the money and give away, you know, one big grand prize to somebody, I mean, I got to think that's got to bring some attendance. What do you think, Pat?
I think for sure. You know, anything that's going to bring the people to the shoot. You know, I see what they've done in Nevada. What they did in North Dakota this year. Guys are thinking outside the box. They're trying to get more shooters to come. And I think that's what all clubs need to do.
Yeah.
You know, I listened to Sean's podcast, and he was talking about getting people to come back, right? Getting people to do stuff other than just the shooting. And I think that's something that we'll focus on at the Brown and Gun Club for the next big shoot, for the next Canadian that we have. You know, we throw great targets. We know how to run a shoot, but it's the extra stuff that you know, maybe there's room for improvement on that.
When is
How
that
many
shoot?
shooters do you generally get to something like that? And like Rick said, when is the shoot?
That shoot, well, it's the same time as Minnesota now. It's the last weekend in June. So the problem is now, which one do we go to? Of course, when it's in Brandon, obviously that's where we're going to go. But how many shooters? It depends where it is. Like that shoot moves east to west, and if it's in Ontario, it's probably maybe 250, and Brandon we maybe get half of that.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean that makes a big difference. I know in the West Coast we had a couple shoots. Example one, the Grand Pacific, where it was moving every year, and depending on where it went, the attendance would go way up or way down.
Yeah.
And so I know Utah has the same thing where they go from Vernal to Spanish Fort, and I know they've said that there's different level of attendance there. So I think whenever the shoot is moving from spot to spot, you're going to get some people that come just because of the location.
Locations. You're always going to get that in every shoot, for sure. So that's why we were looking at, I seen that provincial shoot at that Hamilton club. It's over the 4th of July.
Oh, okay.
And I was like, I really don't go to any shoots. And the guys, BJ was talking about, hey, you got to come up here and bow. And I was like, might not be a bad deal to go over there and shoot it and, shoot a fun shoot if it's, they're saying they're trying to bring it back and grow it. So, we're all about trying to go to different shoots.
That'll be the size of the Canadian. I think Ontario gets 250 plus. Like it'll be the biggest provincial shoot, definitely in Canada.
All right, folks, we got to take a quick second and give a huge shout out to our title sponsor, Craigoff. Me and Ricky both shoot him. We both love him.
Yeah, best gun in the industry. I shoot them. I sell them. Nothing better, folks. Get yourself a Craigoff. Your scores will increase.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky's got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with his. I mean, I've got a few hundreds, but I'm always working to get a little bit better, and they definitely help me, that's for sure. So on top of that, we also got to thank Winnig. I'm wearing the shirt today. Love this shirt. If you're down at the Grand, pick one up.
Yeah, Winnig, like I said, Zach, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds with my Winnig stock. Get a hold of Bobby, Luke, Bill, get an appointment set up. They will make you a better shooter with that Winnig stock.
Of course, yeah. The Grand's the great place to do it. Give them a call. Get on their book. It's worth your time.
Just remember, winners shoot Winnigs.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
So I want to circle back a little, Pat. I know you mentioned at the beginning of the show that you had a little bit of a struggle this year, and it wasn't your best year. I mean, that being said, you did just win a ring, so it's hard to say, oh, yeah, I had a bad year, won another Grand ring. Like, what was going on in your mind that you considered a struggle, and how did you work through that to get to the point that you're still a world champion?
Oof. I got to go right back to the start. It was probably, I wasn't seeing the targets how I wanted to see them at the start of the year. And I was trying this, that, everything, trying to see them. And I think I brought my eyes down to the trap. And I know everything, everybody's different, right? Like I know a lot of guys, they see the target as they're looking right at the trap or as they lower their gun. I actually found at the end of the year, I had to go higher. Like I was trying so hard to see that target right as it came out, and my eyes were locking on the trap. I would get an angle come out, and my eyes are still down at the trap. And basically, as my gun gets to it, my eyes catch up at the same time, and I just wasn't getting a lock on it. So there's that. There's trying to. When you're struggling, you're trying so much harder. You're trying to see that target. You're staring. You're trying to, get everything to be just perfect, rather than just shoot. So at the Grand, I got back to just shooting. Held the gun up a little bit higher, and probably, I don't know, maybe about a foot above the trap, and just looking right through the barrel. Okay. And that soft focus, it just seemed that the target would pop like that.
Is that about as high as you'll go, Pat? About a foot above the house? I mean, for you?
Probably. And like I said in the first one, I hold in a bit of a arc. So, I mean, post 3 would be the highest. That's probably about a foot. On posts 1 and 5, I might be 6 or 8 inches, somewhere around there. And it was just such a subtle change. It was... When I was having a hard time seeing them, I was probably half that, maybe 4 inches on the corners, and I just couldn't unlock my eyes from the edge of the trap.
All right, folks, we got to take a real quick break and acknowledge the official target of the ATA, White Flyer. They've been sponsoring us since the beginning, and they make a great target. What do you think, Rick?
It's the best target in the ATA. Shout out to everybody there, all the reps, Bill Daniels, Josh Taylor, Nick Arnold, Robert Crow, everything they do for the sport and all the shoots. Really appreciate it.
They're always there. They're always trying to make a better target, and they're always supporting the game that we love so much. With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
So for you, getting your eyes just a little bit higher this year, I mean, it could be age, it could be the light, it could be reflexes, it could be any one of those things. But just for you, the shift to make it work was get the eyes just a little bit above the barrel, a little bit more than normal.
No, I don't even think I got my eyes above the barrel. I'm still looking through it. I'm still looking where I've always looked, but I actually just raised my barrel up a little bit. And that certainly helped.
I see it. So whole point change.
Yeah, and subtle.
Okay.
Like we're not talking, hold above vertical or above horizontal or anything like that.
Yeah, not a Rich Bullard hold point.
Yeah.
No.
Rich tends to hold super high, like he's holding to the moon.
Rich is,
and it just
Rich
it
is
made
like
a big-
6'2"
it
or
made a big
6'3",
difference,
6'2" or 6'3", and his barrel's pointed up when he mounts the gun. It's like that.
Now, Zach, you don't know height because Rich is about 6'5". Okay, I'm 6'2". So
either way, his barrel's like that.
It is. Well, and looking, Pat, at the All-American standings, because you finished 4th on the All-American team, is where you'll finish.
Okay.
By my point calculation, by Ian Derrick was 3rd, and he got you by 8 points, and you got ditto by 50 points.
Okay.
And then Glow by about 58 points. But you got 890 points in the Graham week and 112 in the prelims. So basically half your points you got at the Graham, but you shot, you won didn't you win the prelim handicap, I think, or the challenger handicap, was it?
The challenger handicap.
Is that the prelim?
No, the prelim.
Okay.
No, didn't win that one. But yeah, won the whatever day it was. Must have been Wednesday.
The challenge, which was on Wednesday, yeah, because Tuesday is the President's handicap, then the Challenger handicap on Wednesday, and then Friday, prelim, Saturday. Okay. But with looking at, of course, you won the overall. You were 2nd in the all-around. Now, did you win the shoot-off for runner-up?
I don't know how many miles down the road I was when I got called for that shoot-off, but I wasn't there.
Okay. Oh, okay. I wondered if you stuck right. You just said, I won my ring. I ain't shooting for runner-up. I'm out of here.
All right, Trap Talk listeners, let's take a couple seconds and thank a couple more sponsors. First of all, Remington's been with us since day one. I've been shooting these shells since 2007. I shoot the Nitro 27 from the 27-yard line, ounce and eighth, 7.5, and STS ounce and eighth, eighths for singles and doubles. They've worked great for me, as they do a lot of top shooters all around the country. Give them a try. Don't forget the Gun Club line when you're practicing and you're wanting to save a little bit of money.
We'd also like to thank another sponsor, Outlaw Engineering. Randy Freston, R2. I've known Randy since 1988. They do engineering, surveying, drafting, GIS, civil, structural, land development, wetland permitting. They do it all.
And they're friends of trap shooters. They're a trap shooting family. They've been in the ATA forever. His dad's been involved. They're involved. They're a beautiful family. They're great people. And we just love that they listen to the show, and we love that they support Trap Talk.
Yeah, his dad was past president in 1989. So I really want to thank those guys for the support. I really appreciate it here at Trap Talk.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
Yeah, being runner-up or shooting for runner-up in the all-around, that's a huge honor too. Not taking anything away from that. It's just, it's a long shoot. We had a long drive to get home, so that's what we did. But yeah, I would have, had the shoot been a little closer, yeah, I'd absolutely shot it.
Yeah. How many hour drive is it for you up there?
We're about 23 or 4. Like it's a long way.
Jeez,
Yeah. I don't.
that's a whole day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like literally a whole day.
Yeah. Yeah. And Zach, and you complain about driving an hour and a half.
Hey, do they not have planes up there in Canada?
Yeah, we can't take your shells on it. Nah, I know. It would be a lot easier.
I mean, I get, hey, you don't want to mess it up. It's working for you. 12 rings in. If I won a ring driving one year, I'd be driving 24 hours every year. I wouldn't think about it. I'd just do it.
He'd drive every year.
Yeah.
So
I'd be driving all the way to
won
Russia
12.
for one of those rings.
You know, Pat, so were you leading going into the handicap
No.
Saturday, or were you tied with Dave?
No, I was actually tied, and I wasn't paying any attention. I thought he was ahead. So when I got done, his score wasn't in yet. I knew I had 97. I figured, well, he's gonna shoot a 97 plus. So I was watching his score, and my phone actually buzzed, and it was him, and he texted me, "Congratulations on the overall." And you know what? His score still wasn't in. He ended up with a 96, but you know, I look at that and I think of the stuff they, I guess, learned during the Grand or picked up, and that's something that I took note of. I mean, Dagan, the best shooter in the ATA right now, for him to text that, I really respected that. I mean, obviously he wants to win as much or more than anybody else, and for him to be happy for me like that, I respected it a lot. I thought I thought good on him for sending that.
Hey, Trop Talk listeners, let's take a quick second to thank a couple more amazing sponsors. SOS Clays Shoot Management. They're doing a fantastic job. I love the app. I love being able to see everything on my phone instantaneously. It's freaking awesome. Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, Greg Pink and his group over there. I mean, they've got a majority of the satellite grands, majority of the state shoots. I think it's 40 plus state shoots they're doing. But the app, honestly, we were doing a little beta testing with that at the Spring Grand. It's awesome. You can see your squad if they paid. You can see your options, your payouts. The whole works at your fingertips. Great deal. They're just
Ricky knew how much money he made before he even got off the line. He was like, hey, I'm buying lunch. I'm like, yeah, good job. We're good to go.
That's
we
right.
also got gun and trophy insurance. I mean, they're the best in the business. I know they're great price. Ricky, you're familiar with them, right?
Yeah, Cole and Larry Cushman been long-time supporters of myself, and I've been a supporter of them, and especially with my college team. We require insurance. It's so fast and easy to sign up and get your insurance in literally 10 minutes. You can have your guns insured, and they're just great. They're great to deal with. Like I said, you can do your trophies also, your wildlife animals and that such, and your guns. It's just a great
It's always good when you're traveling around to have that peace of mind and know that you don't have to worry about losing your stuff forever. And these are expensive things, especially when you got those Craig-offs. You got to keep them insured. So,
exactly.
With that being said,
let's get back to the show. Yeah, absolutely. He is a class act. His mom and dad are great people. The whole family, his brother Connor, his brother Austin. I mean, they're all just class act people. And that's when we were at the Grand, I seen him right before we got ready to leave. And I just told him, I said, hey, congratulations on being captain. And it was funny. He kind of put his head down. He said, thank you. I know, and I said, man, he did. He shot lights out. I was leading coming all the way up to the Grand, and he just turned down another gear and dominated, it seemed like every handicap was like 97, 98, 99, 97, 98. So, but, he's such a good, good kid. He's only, 22, Zach? Is that what he is?
22 or
now?
23. I mean, he's a young guy. He's getting ready to start his career in accounting, which is amazing, and he's a fierce competitor. And the thing that I could say about Dagan, just watching him, is he's very robotic. I mean, if you watch him, there's nothing that changes from shot to shot that I can visibly see from when he loads his gun to when he mounts to when he shoots and the timing. And the other person that reminds me of that is you, Pat. I mean, there's really not
Yeah.
too many people that make it look more methodically correct, like literally perfect movements and time to get to that point where you call pull. And I got to think there's got to be something to routine, and there's got to be something to getting the mount that you guys want, like that that head up, eyes up, kind of, okay, I'm ready to attack the bird. Because I mean, it's impressive to watch. I've never seen anyone. I mean, you and Dagan is pretty much the only two that I've seen where it's just robotic. Also, we've got Mid-State Precious Metals, Ron Prescott. He's a great guy for all your gold and silver needs. Ricky, tell him about our friend.
Yeah, Ron, he graciously donated a 10-ounce silver bar to our live in-person podcast in Tucson. And, he has everything. I bought a bunch of silver from him. We got our silver and gold for the fun day at the Nevada State Shoot on Monday this year. John got all the silver and gold for the Nevada State Shoot. So look him up for your silver and gold needs. He'll give you the best price out there.
He really is, and he's a friend of the trap shooters. I mean, he's looking to get gold and silver to these gun clubs for their shoots at the lowest price across the country. He's doing them a service and helping grow the sport. So, thank you so much for that, Ron.
Yeah, thank you, Ron. We appreciate it.
With that being said,
let's get to the show.
And you guys have definitely talked about routines and having the same thing every time in the past, and I absolutely agree with you. Like, I think that's super, super important. You keep doing the same thing every time, and I guess expect the same results. Where it goes sideways.
Absolutely.
Sometimes, you miss a target. You think, well, I have to make a change. I missed it because of any number of reasons, right? So you see people, myself included, you make a major change, then you miss another one and another one. Well, go back to what works.
Yes. Yeah, just
I think
see
too many
it,
people
shoot
are
it.
making changes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yes, Zach. No, Zach has a tendency to do that. He'll miss one, and he'll miss one right after because he's trying to change something.
No, it's not to change something. It's the, man, I should not have missed that one because now Ricky is ahead of me, and then now I missed another one.
Yeah.
Whatever.
They're like, damn it, I can't. How am I going to beat him today when I'm down 2 already? That's just, it's a hard life.
Well, we just had Glow on and talked to him about winning the all-around, his first ring ever. And, Ryan's such a good kid. And, we talked about you, talked about Dagan. And, that's why I tell Glow, I'm like, and it's all these kids, if they would just calm down a little bit and not get mad about missing a target, you're not going to miss more. It's when you miss one, just like I said, I got to change something. And I've been in that boat where it's like, that wasn't right. Let me do this. But then I know if I miss one, like 2, I did that at Iowa, I missed 2 in a row. I said, well, if they'd have thrown me that target 5 times, I'd have missed it every time because I wasn't changing.
Yeah.
I just figured I'm shooting it this way. It's either going to break or it's not,
Normally, I don't make a lot of changes after I miss, or I don't consciously make a lot of changes, but you're thinking about why you missed, right? You're thinking about, I did this or I did that, and you're still thinking about that when you go to shoot the next one. And I mean, especially in handicap, it doesn't work out very well. Singles, you might be able to get away with it, but
yeah, singles you can get away with kind of anything, so to speak.
Until you don't. That's the problem with singles. You get away with it, then all of a sudden you miss.
Yeah, it's never fun to hear that loss behind you, but it happens. I mean, it's part of the game, and I think, pushing your limits to the next level. And one thing I think, and I don't know if it was Dagan or Dagan's dad that said this to me, and it made a lot of sense. It's like whenever you miss, it's just going on another long run.
Yeah.
And I've been thinking about that a lot lately, but I've been shooting singles. It's like, okay, if I miss one, like I just started a new long run. Like now, how far can I go? Because at the end of the day, the human body can only do it so many times before we all fail.
Yeah.
But it's kind of fun to press the envelope based on, what your longest run is. I mean, continually pushing into the great abyss of what you haven't done.
Well, whether it's a new long run, whether it's, again, like I've talked about before, staying in the all-around, staying in the overall, your average. There's all sorts of things to shoot for. And, just because you miss one, you may not win that event, but there's more.
All right, folks, we got to take a quick second and give a shout out to the Cardinal Center in Marengo, Ohio. They hold the Cardinal Classic, and they also hold the Ohio State Shoot, which is home of the first back fence shootout. Ricky, what do you think about Ohio?
Listen, I love the Cardinal Center. I actually broke the first 100 from the 27 there at their very first shoot ever. Great place, Jake Spangler and their whole clan there. They do an awesome job at running the shoots. The Ohio State shoots ran by the Ohio State Association. The Cardinal Classic's right after the Grand, so if you're looking for some more points right after the Grand, hit that up so you can get a little more points than old Zach here. But listen, it's a great shoot. Great facility.
It really is. I personally love the RVs. They've got great camping there. They've got a great time, good shoot, good target presentation. Go check it out. It's worth putting on your list. With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
So how many overalls have you won now, Pat, at the Grand?
That's 4 now.
Okay. So in your mind, does it get easier after you've won the first couple, or is it equally hard every time? I mean, are you going into Monday with that, okay, it's time to start another overall, or what's that mindset starting that Grand week from a 4-time overall winner?
I go in the Monday with the mindset to win the overall. Every time, that's kind of my goal. And you know what? In doing so, you're going to shoot some good events along the way and hopefully win them. But I don't know. The big thing with the overalls, I guess I've been leading in 2, behind in 1, and then tied in the 4th. And you kind of got a different. I don't know. Maybe it's a different mindset. Maybe it's just, I guess, knowing how it is you're going to feel going into these last events. Like, I don't know. It's a feel like you couldn't even describe unless you've been there. Like the first couple overalls I had, I felt sick going into the handicap. Like, and actually you get sick about halfway through the week knowing that you're close. This time I thought I was behind. So I actually didn't feel bad going into the last handicap until you get down to the end and realize kind of what's going on. But yeah, I think having done it before, I think you just have, how to manage those emotions, manage the feelings. You know there's an end to this.
Yeah, it'll be over in a minute, and you'll be 23 hours on the roads coming either way, right? So either whether you do it or don't, back in the rig.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. And like I say, trying to get to sleep the night before, you know that it's not going to be a good sleep, regardless whether you're up, down. The first time, again, going into that handicap and thinking, God, I'm tired. I didn't get a good sleep. Well, I guess this time you kind of know to expect it. But, and you're right. Even if you tell yourself at the end, I got, regardless of what happens, 4 hours and I'm going to be on the road again. Let's make the best of it, kind of thing. I don't know. There's just different mindset, I guess, is what happens as you've done it before.
Different emotions.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've been on the downside of the being ahead, being tied, being behind, and you get all sorts of emotions.
Sure.
Coming at the end that God, if I would have just done this a little, or whatnot. So it is what it is, but. Pat, we were talking about long runs. What is your long run in singles? Do you know?
I think it's about 1180, I think. Could be in there. Doubles and handicap, I haven't really went on big long runs. I don't know, 4 something, 450 maybe in doubles, and handicap's not very long.
Yeah, that ain't very long. 450. I mean, everybody does that, right, Rick?
Zach, what's your doubles long run?
Oh, I don't know. 280, something like that. Two in a row, singles? and then 875
for singles.
I don't know where I missed in the last box, but I did 875 and then I missed. So then you somewhere in that next one.
It's still impressive. I always say if you get over 500, it's impressive.
Oh, yeah. It's not bad, but it ain't no Ricky Marshall and Pat Lamont numbers. I'm over here just a financial guy trying to have fun with a podcast. But
Listen to him.
If you-
This is what I deal with,
one
Pat, every day.
All right, folks, we got to take another quick break and thank one of our show sponsors, 73 Pointers Ranch, Jonesburg, Missouri. Rick and Carla Burke, best place in the area to go shoot chuckers and pheasants and have a great time. Rick, we got to get you down there.
Yeah, I need to come in. Hopefully I can do some hunting with you guys and come to your the annual clay shoot in August right after the Grand.
It's a lot of fun. It's the Optimist Club charity shoot. They throw a charity shoot. They put it on, and it's wonderful. I think last year they had over 100 entries into it, and it's just a good time. With that being said,
let's get back to the show.
What I do want to know, Pat, is I know when we spoke with Ryan, he's really against looking at the scoreboard, and he said he was 300 straight going in, so he knew he was leading the all-around 300 straight. But for you, do you make an attempt to actually look and know where you are, or would you rather not know?
I'd rather not know. I think it's easier. There's been shoots where I've known. There's been the majority where I don't. I just assume not know. Well, and again, you're shooting your own target.
Do you look on Friday going into the Grand American Handicap, or does just people tell you, or like how did it work this year? Like, did you know, or were you not sure?
I didn't know. I just thought the Dagon was ahead, but I didn't know. Like I consciously, I guess, don't look. But I mean, if you find out, again,
so
you're shooting your own
that
targets.
worked to your favor probably this year because, like you said, you shot like you were from behind. You shot like you were behind versus being tied. That might have changed your perspective a little, correct?
Yeah, and it may have. It may have. Like the first half of the handicap went well, and then it was, I guess, the last two traps where I had missed, and after how'd it go? I missed 2 of the last 15. And yeah, the last one I missed, I got thinking, well, you've had a good week, but I guess it's not going to happen this year. And then I missed one more.
You missed 2 in the last 15?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Glow missed his 99th for his 97, and he thought he had lost the all-around when he did that. Yeah. Yeah, he missed the 99th, and then he broke the 100th in half.
He said he also missed 2 in his last box. 2 in his last box. I don't know if it was in the last 15, but he definitely missed 2 in the last box.
Yeah, things got a little tight towards the end. I mean, I don't think it matters who you are. When you're getting towards the end, you're getting nervous, You're getting excited to get done, whether you've done it once, whether you've done it 100 times.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's glad to hear that because I think a lot of our listeners shooting, they talk about nerves and getting nervous and asking questions, and it's like, Pat, you've got more rings than I think anybody we've had on the show at this point. I mean, 12. Leo Harrison had 27, but he's not around to interview, unfortunately. We miss him a lot, but I mean, to hear somebody like you be humble enough to say, hey, I still have nerves. I still feel nervous. I still go through that emotion because it's at different levels, but we're all feeling that in this game that we shoot.
Yeah, I agree. Like I don't think it matters who you ask. If they tell you they don't feel nerves, I don't believe them.
I'm with you, Pat. I hear that a lot from people. They'll be like, oh, I don't get nervous. Okay. I bet you, no matter what you're shooting, singles, handicap doubles, you're going to get nervous. You just learn how to control the nerves.
Going into,
and that's the biggest thing.
Into shoot-offs, like say the clay target, I can say I don't get very nervous in the clay target at the start because there's 60 people you're shooting off with. Like you're not even close to
70, 80, 100. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. You've earned your way into it. And to me, that is a nervous feeling towards the end. But when you start that shoot off, there's so many guys, you're not even close. But then when it gets down towards the end, the nerves start to creep in.
Oh, yeah. I've been there where, you like you say, you're shooting 50 at a time in the clay target. So all I always worry about is, you know what? Let's just break these targets and move on to the next round. Yeah. Break these targets, move on to the next round. And then when you get down and it's one trap field, that's when you're like, okay, well, we're not moving anywhere. We're staying right here. And, and now with the rule of shooting 200, which I think they should go to completion. I really like that idea of finishing it that night and get it over with and out of the way of all the other stuff. But I don't know if they'll ever go back to doing that. We did that for a few years and it was some late nights.
Well,
So-
the problem is all three of us, we're the old guys now. Like you look at the single shoot off this year. You look at the age of the guys that were in it. Those guys would shoot all night.
Yep. Well, Pat Stacy was the oldest, and
Yeah.
he'd won it twice, but heck, you got Leo Brand and Michael Gates, and both of them, their age was, take that times 3 and it equaled Pat's. So
Jeez.
it was kind of
those
crazy.
Young eyes, young reflexes, obviously got to be helping the game because there's just so many young, great shooters. I mean, you could look at it, and obviously Dagan day in day out is winning overalls and shooting amazing. But there's so many young shooters that could just go up and pop an event here and there that nobody's ever out of any one event.
Yeah, for sure.
No.
For sure.
All right, folks, we need to take a quick second and get to a new show sponsor, Big Red Motorsports. Big Red, they're personal friends of mine, Jason and George Lee, and they're also a personal sponsor of mine.
Now, I'll say this. Ricky looked great driving around in that side-by-side. I got some free rides down at Tucson, the Autumn Grand. I think it's awesome that they deliver all across the country, and obviously they love trap shooters. They love trap shooting, and they're doing a great job.
Listen, they got Can-Am, Kawasaki, CF Moto, Triton trailers. Hit them up. We'll take care of you guys. With that being said,
Let's get to the show. So, Pat, I see you're wearing our Trap Talk shirt. I appreciate the love. You look good in that thing.
Yeah, thanks. That one?
I heard from I heard from a little birdie that you might have some new upcoming news. Is there anything that you could share with us yet, or is it still in the pipeline?
I don't know. That's a good question. I think it's still in the pipeline, but there is potentially some good news coming up.
Well, we'll look forward to hearing good news from you because there's always good things. Is there any other tidbits of information, anything else you'd like to share before we get out of here today?
You know what? Maybe I should share the news. Just I think Team Remington has contacted me, and I'll be switching shells next year. So that's something I'm looking forward to, and I appreciate the opportunity. You had faith in me, and I guess it was Mike Hampton who you've had on the show, and yeah, I spoke with him on the phone and asked if I'd like to be part of the team. So thank him for that. Any other news?
well, congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
I think you're going to look great in one of these hats, Pat. I mean, I don't know how many gold and green shells are going up to Canada, but hopefully that's going to get changed now. So we'll be having some stuff over there. But I know that they're lucky to have a guy like you for sure. I mean, 12 rings and countless other accomplishments, and just a great guy. And, I also want to thank you for always coming on the show and being supportive. I mean, I texted Pat the other day and I said, hey, can we have you on the show for the ring series? And he said, absolutely. And normally when I text people to get on the show, they're like, nah, I ain't getting on the show again. You guys had your one freebie. And Pat's like, no, I love this. You guys are doing great. So, we appreciate the repeat offenders. We appreciate the guys that want to come back out and share their story. Because we got a lot of fans asking. I mean, they're always saying, hey, when are you going to have Pat on again? When are you going to have Dagan on again? When are you going to, do another episode about this? So it's just really cool to be a part of something where people are wanting that information and they want to hear from you for sure.
Well, and it's fun to be part of this. I got a compliment I guess not a compliment, but a thank you at the ground, one that I never had before. I was leaving the vendor buildings and a gentleman came up to me and said, thank you for everything you do for the sport. And I thought, what am I doing for the sport? He says, with the podcast and everything. So I thought, that was a really nice compliment. And I think, look at what you guys are doing. Like, look at the views you're getting. Look at the people that are watching. I think it's great for the sport, and to be part of that with you guys, I think, it's an honor. It's an honor coming on here and talking to you guys.
Well, we appreciate
it's just a whole lot of fun.
It is. Especially I can razz Zach all the time, it just makes my day go smoother.
It's just more fun for me. If I don't have it, I get too confident. So I need Ricky to just kind of whack me down a little bit. It keeps me humble. It's a wonderful, wonderful thing. But hey, in all good fun, we're here to help the sport grow. We're here to see these shoots get bigger. We would love that shoot up, and we were talking about, me and Ricky were even talking about going up to Canada and checking out a couple of those shoots here in a bit. So, and traveling and shooting more stuff around the country, which I think it's always good to see new people. But whether I'm going from California to New York, there's just good people at every gun club across the country, and we want to meet them, we want to see them, we want to have fun, and kind of check it out. I think and hopefully document a lot of good information.
Yeah, and definitely, Pat, if we come up to Canada in your area, we're flying.
I don't blame you.
We ain't driving.
Pat, you don't have to go to the shoot that me and Rick go to, though. If you want to just stay and work and go somewhere else or go to Michigan, that's fine with me.
You come on, you can shoot with us.
Hey, there you go. You
that would be fun.
Anyways. That's no big
we would have a good time shooting together.
See, Zach, he said we'd be non-residents, so you don't have to worry about it.
Oh, perfect. Then I just got to leave you. I just got to leave Ricky home then.
Oh, no. I'm in.
He's in. They got good maple syrup up there. You can't keep them away.
Hey, maple syrup and poutine. Come have some of that.
Oh, Lord.
Well, Pat, like I said, we know we're going to have you on again. Probably, do rings every year until you get to like 24, and then we'll be like, all right, how many more ring episodes are we going to do with Pat? But it's always a pleasure to have you on. We look forward to seeing what you got coming down the pipe in the 2025 season. Is there any shoots on the book planned right now in your mind, right off the bat?
Just the usual. Like I'll do all the same state shoots, the zone, the ground, and the spring ground.
What's your first shoot this year?
Tucson, and then it'll be we shoot just a small shoot in North Dakota called the Rough Rider. There's maybe 100 people at it, but it's a nice little shoot. And then the first big shoot is Minnesota.
Okay. Well, we will look for you at Tucson. Maybe do some content down there and see some big scores out of you. But we appreciate you being here today. We appreciate you all tuning in. Check us out next Friday. Remember, get those likes, shares, subscribe, send us messages, send us questions. We love you guys, Trap Talk Nation. We'll see you soon.
That's right. We appreciate it. Thanks, everyone.
And the Trap Talk podcast is brought to you in part by
RM Shooting Clinics. Have Ricky take your game to the next level. If you want to shoot hundreds, give Ricky a call today. Zach Nannini Financial. We believe in putting people first.